My name is Joseph Barden, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I was a freshman in high school, and I was very happy because I was lucky enough to be sitting with a bunch of upperclassmen girls. And there were three of us there, me, a friend of mine named Janetta, and a friend of mine named Bridget. And a friend of theirs passed by us, and his name was David. And David was like the out gay guy from our high school. David was very flamboyant, to put it mildly. David was the kind of guy who would wear Daisy Dukes to school, and like ultra tight shirts, and he's one of those kinds of people. We used to say back in the day, it was in the crystal closet. You didn't have to ask; you could just see right in, and that was David. And David had come by to talk to Janetta and Bridget, and then he left. And as he left, I came up, or it might have already been there, but I said, "Oh my God, he's just so disgusting." And my friend Janetta looked at me and she said, "What did you say?" And I said, "He's so disgusting, the way he acts, the way he just prances, it's just uncalled for." And she looked at me and she said, "Wow, Joseph, I thought you were better than that." To have somebody who I respected, who I'd only known for a short period of time, but had become a good friend of mine, to the look of like hurt and disappointment in her face really showed me that this like casual homophobia that I had been cultivating, it's not cool, and it doesn't need to be done, and you don't need to do that to have friends or maintain friends. And that's really powerful. And you recognize that having gone through that, it just makes you realize that oftentimes like some people who are the most virulently homophobic are just trying to hide something about themselves. Even though I was a freshman in high school, I knew I was gay at the time. I had known for quite a bit of time that I was gay. I knew earlier on, when I was in middle school and kind of starting to figure out what might be my story, that it was always far easier to make fun of like gay kids or gay adults. Would always get a good laugh, and I guess maybe subconsciously I also thought that people wouldn't think that maybe I was one of those people too. Later on, after I reflected on what Janetta said to me, I kind of figured out that I don't need to do that. And I promised myself from that day on, I wouldn't make fun of anybody for being gay as a way of trying to hide who I am and cover who I really am. If you're dealing with those feelings, and you just have to accept them and deal with them, and making other people miserable because you feel that you might become more miserable if people knew, is really cowardly, and you end up spreading hurt in a way that people don't deserve, and that you have no right to impose. So I would hope people would kind of, I don't know, maybe use me as a cautionary tale, because I think eventually, no matter who you are, you'll get it. And you'll be ashamed. And so the earlier you can kind of change that, the better. And this isn't just for gay people or for trans people or whomever. It's just a good thing for us to do as humans.